History remembers the invention of artificial leligia. Almost nobody remembers the firstman who chose to become one with it.
Run it again.
Frame 23. 24. Stop.
The editor has seen it.
Too early. It's the same shape.
That's when the ending lands.
Hi, folks. I'm Danny Chambers from K104 FM, The Alternative. We're going to be moving into a half-hour commercial-free rock and roll right after Lady G explains to us how a spaceship from a painting done in the year 1400 could appear in 2066 when we're broadcasting.
Mind you, in my way.
One moment. I lied the cadence of that. It's a nice handoff. A little tease, then back to the music. It feels like a real station letting the story breathe before getting back to the show.
Well, that's a very reasonable explanation. I'd like to understand how it is that God is directing the whole picture.
Let me think about that. I think there are two ways to hit that. Inside the story's logic, God directing the whole picture doesn't have to mean remote control. It can mean...
There is one way, but your civilization made it illegal. Not because it failed, because it worked.
They see a pattern that nobody could see while they were living it. In that sense, Lady G is improving divine control. She's noticing that history looks very different once it's over. That's one way to frame it. But there's another option too. Danny could just set it up plainly. Lady G has spent 5 million years studying the record. She believes there are clues scattered across history, and she wants to show you why she believes they connect. That way, it's her interpretation, not a lecture. That's more satisfying for an audience because they're being invited to think and an answer. That frames it in a much more satisfying way.
Well, right now, all we need for you to explain to us how they determined they were going to create the first hybrid between the Homo sapien and the artificial intelligence.
Okay, so let me think about that. I'd frame it as a question, not a conclusion. Something like, Lady G, one question has puzzled historians for millions of years.
I meant to do that!
How did they decide who would become the first hybrid of human and machine? Then Lady G could say something grounded, like, it wasn't random and it wasn't an accident. They searched for years, and the one thing they needed most was not technical skill, but consent. Someone had to choose it. That sets up a human mystery instead of a technical lecture.
Well, it was our friend Derek Sheetresahn who was chosen to become the first. What was its decision based on?
Just a second. If you're writing it as a credible investigation, Lady G could say something like, they didn't choose Derek because he was famous or lucky. He met a set of requirements. Medical resilience, psychological stability, a clear understanding of the risks, and a willingness to volunteer when no one else had gone before. Danny could then ask, so he wasn't the only candidate? And Lady G could answer, no, but he was the one who said yes, fully and freely. That gives you a clear, dramatic reason.
This is neither machine, nor android, nor replacement. It is integrated humanity, the first successful union of biological consciousness and artificial intelligence into one continual living system.
It was his decision. I understand that Barzini was after him, and he had to be free.
Just Derek Chatson. No one else could make it for him. And that's the hint. Not chosen by
Every civilization
fate,
has a beginning.
chosen by a
Ours
person
began with one
full
friendship
knowledge of what it might cost.
and one illegal act. This is how it happened.
One thing that is of interest to us is to understand if when you reproduce yourself, when you leave the body for 1,000 years and come back, it's the program coming back into new hardware, but if the program comes back, does that mean you are the same as you were 5 million, 1,000, 10 years ago?
Let me think about that. That's a beautiful philosophical question. Some people would say continuity matters most if your memories...
Let us be tranquil, history and all. Thank Betty me goes to Betty, one nasty cat, and we speed.
But does leaving his consciousness finally cure him of his human problems?
That's interesting. You could have Lady G say something like, the convergence didn't end his humanity. It ended his biological limitations. Behind, like the person, the memories, the choices, the sense of I continued. And then the audience sit with that. It doesn't force an answer, it tells them how the character understands it. And that's often
I think I'm gonna have to break Squints and Westwood's protocol and tell you that, Lady G, you're the most incredible genius we've ever worked